Yo, what's good, fam? It's your boy Rosie Trades. Sitting up doing my late night charting to see what has already happened and see what we possibly could be headed tonight. So if you are tapping in with me tonight, please hit the like button. You already know the routine. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe to your boy. I'm gonna drop him heat every day to help you navigate through the market to the upside or the downside or in between, whatever it is. So let's jump straight to it. Right now, I have the spot chart up, and today it showed a little weakness. I thought it was going to start off strong, and we possibly was going to see higher than what we had seen today. We started off Tuesday. We started off opening a little bit below yesterday's closing price up here. And in that first hour, I mean, we didn't even attempt to retest this 574 level. It just opened lower and then we flushed to the downside within the first hour. So broke the support. And right now I am looking for this 566 level to be retested. As you can see, we closed at a red candle right here. So I like to break stuff down on the 5 minute charts just to see the deeper pattern of the candlesticks. Like I said, the more in detail you go, which I know I'm gonna go no more beneath the 5 minute chart. I look at the details of the hourly and the daily candles. So when I'm actively trading during the day, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the 5 minutes to see where could the price action possibly be headed for the rest of the day. So this is us right here opening semi around, like I said, Monday's closing price. Soon as it opened, we did see this break of support below 570. And looks like what happened was Monday's support levels right there, they became today's resistance. And it happens just like that. Once you see high price action like this, and then you see it just completely just dropping the weakness, I always look for consolidated levels on the chart to see what's that turning into. So when you see something like that, a hard flush, somebody asked me today was like, "What's the move?" I'm waiting on the price action to reset. I'm waiting on the price action to reset because once this dramatic move to the downside breaks, I'm already saying, all right, it's coming here. But it can go straight there or it can drop and do a few fake outs and then come back up and retest them levels. So you see, as it broke, you find the last consolidated area, which this was support. This was a false breakout and a support that turned back to the upside. And then today we seen a dramatic red candle. Somebody could have tried to get inputs here and see if it was going to break the previous day's lows, but it didn't. You get in here, it fakes you out, and then it shoots back up and retests consolidated areas. So here, here. So I would have been looking for puts around here, or maybe up here, because this would have been the full support area turn resistance up around 572 and then down to about 570. So I would have liked to play puts when it came back up here for the bigger move back to the downside. So this is what we've seen today. And if we do go into weakness, either we can open up down here and break those lows, or we can open up flat, make another run, and it could run and go up a little bit higher and then come back down again. But we have data dropping all throughout the week pre-market, so you just have to know, all right, if it opens down here, we're going to play it to the upside. If it goes up here, we're going to play it back to the downside. Why? Because you're going to be fighting against a level of resistance here. That was support. All of this right here, all of this now becomes resistance until it can break to the upside and then try and come back and go back up to the upside. Like, you always want to watch and see the first move that the market makes. And then that'll tell you, all right, when to take your entries. It's hard when the market's moving like this all day and then you see people saying puts, calls, puts, calls. It's no direction. You get a sharp direction up and then you wait for the retest. And if it breaks, then you just play the other side. That's why every trade isn't an opportunity. You have to wait on the moves to show themselves first. And then once the moves show themselves, then you catch the trend and follow it for that particular day. So you may get like a continuation tomorrow to the downside. Then you may get a consolidation here. And then next time you may get it to the upside. But you have to play the alternating days to pretty much catch the momentum in both directions. I mean, the market is a big consolidation right now. The more you scan out, the more you can see the consolidated moves. And this is just on a 5-minute chart. So when you see a move like this play out, all right, it came up here, next day it dramatically dropped. So once you see this and then a bounce here, then all right, here's my resistance, here's my support, because I just had a rejection here, a sharp fall off here, and then a bounce up here. So here's my first support, resistance and support box here. And everything inside of here, you're going to play it like the first one. So once this bounces up, all right, I'm playing my next bounce here. If it doesn't reach, it doesn't reach, but that'd be what you'll be expecting. Then you get the choppy, consolidated, slow move up. Then you get the big spike up, the gap up that day. Well, it's above here, so you're going to play it short to see if it's going to have enough momentum to break. Once it falls back within this box, here it is, like you taking profits because you have another consolidated area back here. You see what I'm saying? This is just what I'm showing y'all. You start finding consolidated areas, and that's going to tell you which direction you're headed. You just have to follow the price action. So if you see this play out before it makes a big move, well, what's going to happen is you're going to play puts back down to this area, and that's where the support here and the resistance here, that's where it plays out. So you constantly micro breaking down trends, consolidated areas, and then you playing plays out that breaks outside of the consolidated area, if that makes sense. So once it comes back in here, you play calls. If it goes back up outside the box, you play puts again. And you just play it sideways. The whole stock is repeating itself. And all you're doing, you're catching the moves outside or below this box here that's already set until it just doesn't hold anymore. And normally these are daily patterns that you're just looking at. So tomorrow I'm looking for us to retest the bottom of here. And this also lines up with my support ranges here back to the upside, whether it's in here. and then you can extend it even further out. And this is how you pretty much do your projections in the stock market day to day. You find the support and resistance. It traded outside of this first, and now you're playing it back down to the bottom. Boom. Now you'll play bounces. If it breaks below here, it's still within this little box right here. So you can take an entry here, and then you can take another entry here back to the upside inside this box. If it breaks out and it comes back up here, well, you can have another box here. Say it broke down and it came within here. Boom. So let's say it dropped down here. You took a call here, then you took a call here. But once it trades back up, then this will serve as resistance. It can break out, and this will serve as second resistance as it continue to break to the upside, and you're just finding the next arch to play and go back to the downside. Here's support one, here's support two. It goes back down, and then you just keep readjusting your boxes as you run the market sideways. So I hope I'm making sense. If I'm not, like I said, if you rock with me or you stick with me, I'll continue to break it down even more as you guys comment or let me know, what's going on, ask more questions. The Discord, the Patreon, those are both infused now. So I'm trying to make it to where I can be more one-on-one engaging with the people that's wanting to have me as like a mentor or just need help learning some things. Because a lot of people are saying they're getting a lot of stuff from me. I appreciate that. And I'm going to continue giving this stuff. So this is just how we're looking going into tomorrow with the SPY. Let's look at the Qs. So so right now the Qs they look like they had a hard time these past 2 days. I actually took a hedge above this level here, above 43, and played it back to the downside. I think it ended up closing around $40 or $50. So if we zoom out, this is what we'll be looking for. So as you can see, if we start back right here and right here, you build your box. The first resistance, the first support. So we're playing inside of that. You had this massive spike outside of here. Once it came up, then you find where it rejected, and then you find where it bounced. So now you're playing within here, playing to the upside. And once this dropped and then it broke out, and now you fell within a whole nother trend again. So you fell within this old trend. So now you're looking for this bounce over here, which it held up on the support level twice. So going into tomorrow, you'll be looking for another support level. If it breaks below that, then all right, it just broke a level of support here. You'll want to go and find the next level that you see and find the top, find the bottom, bring it all the way over, and now you have your new levels to play. This will become new support. If this floor breaks, so once this breaks, you will fall within these prices here. So anything that goes back up into here and here, once this floor breaks and it drops down within this box, anything that comes back up to here, you will look at it as resistance. So here you'll have this price action breaks down in here. You'll have 1, you have 2, 3, and then 4 levels of resistance to see if it's going to actually exhaust itself out and break back down to the downside in order to play these support levels. If we open up here, then you will know that these levels up here become resistance. and you'll play it back to the downside. This would be a support level. This would be a support level until the floor breaks and it comes back within its price range. Let me know. Am I making sense? Am I kind of breaking it down in a way to where this will help you do a little deeper technical analysis on your own? So this is what we'll be watching for. These are the zones that we'll be watching for, and the plays, whichever way the market decides it wants to go. We kind of have an idea of how to predict, unless it just squeezes to the upside and breaks here, and trades within these zones. Stuff like that happen. You just have to be aware of, and you just have to be able to see the pattern and just wait at the right time to make an adjustment and get into a play. So these are the levels for Qs. We'll watch for a bounce around here, back to the upside here, and whatever this next support level comes down to, we'll wait for the bounce. And once we see the bounce, we can take our rectangle and make a box here from the first time it resisted, first time made resistance to the first time it found support. We make our boxes and we stretch it out there, and we play the price action in between these boxes throughout the day. And it just helps you make better decision making on which direction you want to play. It takes some getting used to, but I promise you, once your eyes get adjusted to it, it gets a whole lot clearer. Let's look at Nvidia. So I'm just gonna call Nvidia how I see it right now. You guys can go back behind me and see if you can do the box technique on this one and kind of do your own projections, your predictions. So right now we're looking at a bounce right here at 114. It showed weakness all day. As you can see, this going into Monday, it held this consolidation all day. This was your first kind of wick. So this is the top and the bottom. And once that made, then you have to like draw your box like this. And you'll play anything above it or below it. So tomorrow we'll go into the day looking for support right here, but we'll be playing rejections because we can see the price action coming down here eventually. If not, and it holds and it starts to build new levels, and that's when we'll see it come back up here and retest this 127.65 level. So that's our tops and bottoms right now, 127.70 and 113.17. This is how we'll play going into tomorrow. That's your tops and bottoms. We just have to wait for the right time to enter and execute from there. Like, I hate seeing people take entries during consolidated areas and they don't know which way it's headed. You can see a pattern, but patterns change. Just depending on how the day set up, the patterns can change. One more. We'll look at I took Microsoft today. We made a quick $50 off Microsoft. Played out rather well. So it had a tremendous, bro. Like from 430 all the way down to 421. That's a crazy move for Microsoft on one day. We took entries above on 422 and we watch it drop down to 419. Quick $50. I took profit on most of them, and I love for running just to see if we have more weakness. So right now we're tapping into new territories over here. You see a consolidation right here, and we got that same little price action there. You seeing it consolidate and shoot up, so we could see a longer consolidation sideways here before it makes the drastic move to the downside. Support being around 417. Well, this new support, if it fails to hold, then we'll see it come down to about 409. big ranges for Microsoft. Just have to make sure you be on the right side of it at the right time. If you can time it perfectly, like we did today, the payout comes quick. You might only see a negative sign once or twice before you see green for the rest of the day. So we did Qs, we did SPY, we did Nvidia, Apple. Big sell off today. Everything got down so massively. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on, but we watched Apple trade into supply above 231, and I tried to take calls up to 234. I swung some calls overnight, even though they closed in the green right here, and I thought maybe we'll build up here above this before rejecting it coming back to the downside. But instead, we just had this massive gap down, opened around this support level, and then flushed it. So Apple has a big move that it can make back up to 229. It tried to build some movement to the upside today. Whether it's going to have enough to go or not, I'm not sure. But just looking from over here, we'll want to see the biggest upside and downside to be about right here and right there. So yeah, today I posted if we don't see this 227, well, if we don't see this 225, 224 level hold, we could see it drop a little bit lower. So it did drop a little bit lower, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to take calls on it quite yet, to be honest, just because of I seen it dropped $8, and that was kind of already a overkill on the price action. So it would have been a safe bet, but I just didn't want this gap right here for the price action just to get sucked all the way down in here and just come all the way down to 221 in one day before it decides it wants to recover. Because this is a nice recovery to the upside from 224, 225 back up to around 228. Because once it gets up in here, buyers should step in, squeeze it to the upside, and reject around here. Yeah, so I just didn't want to play Apple wrong. I didn't want to put nobody in Apple's harm playing it the wrong way just because it looked good at the time. It didn't mean that the price action couldn't get just sucked into here before it decided it wanted to come back up. So I just decided to play it safe. Whatever it do tomorrow, we can see this big move right here happen. And I mean, you can kind of break it down even more, but I don't want to quite yet. It had this move right here that I can kind of pay attention to. So you'll kind of look at this as resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3 before playing it down here and finding your next support range that's going to hold up. So we'll look at it tomorrow, possible, puts to play around here. If it decides to gap down some more, then we can look for calls once it breaks below this range. So we'll just play it by ear. Let's see. It looks good, but it's making it too hard to decide. You got an unfilled gap up here, then you have unfilled gap down here, then you got reject right here. I wouldn't touch until they either trades up here, which is making it harder and harder to reach 234, 235, or you play this gap up here and you let it work its way back up. Because you'll have one of those days where Apple might need to carry the market, and you'll get one of those smooth squeezes to the upside, which it'll be an all-day holding. That's when you hear people talk about Apple being a new Nvidia, because it ran from here to here in one day. Sometimes Tim Cook hold big weight, but Google. I was supposed to be in stock, but I love talking stocks, so I'm gonna make Google my last one. I lied. I already made Exxon Mobile my last one because I talked about that one too, and it's been making big moves. So Google real quick. I seen this last week. I like the upside for it, big upside. So as you can see, this support right here has been holding steady. Steady has been continuously climbing. We did swing 172 and a half calls, I believe. And yeah, it had to be 172 and a half because that's my top. But as you can see, it made massive moves on the open. Uh, he bought in at 200, took profit at 315. So banger move, almost double the profits, almost. But we got close enough. So we seen a massive drop with the rest of the market, and the first level of support did hold up here at 165. So my interest would have been 160, one here 165, and then down here around 164, 163, back to the upside to see, what we're gonna do. So going into tomorrow, like I said, I always depend on how the pre-market opens up. Then I readjust and see, all right, how high we opening to an old resistance or support level, or what we gonna do. Is to me at this moment, it's easy for me to look at the charts and then decide how much room the price action has, because I kind of have an idea of how much it can move a day. Like I know Google can move in twos, so $2 and then move up $4 and $6 in a day. It's gonna make its moves in $2 ranges. Um, Meta probably does like $7 or $8 in a day. Nvidia, it can do $12 in a day. So each one kind of has a range as far as how much it can go in a day if it maxes out, and it gives you an idea of like where you can buy or where you can expect a reversal, because it's already ran its price intervals for that day. So I would like to see another solid support move here at 165, just to let me know that this trend right here is continuously being held. And, as it continues to build, it'll have more of a massive movement or squeeze up to the upside, bigger gains, bigger profits. We just like to see these gap ups right here. If the trend fails to hold and we have to start making new resistance levels, we can see support down here like 160, 150, and then 159, 160. So these will be the price levels that we'll look at if we have to change it up. And like I said, it moves in like $2.50 ranges. So if we see a rejection at 164, then we'll see support at 161. So it's about $2.5, $3 move. And then more support at 159. So we'll play those in those ranges. And last one to be Exxon Mobile, oil and gas. I'm not really big on playing the news, but I did hear some type of missile strike in Iran or something like that. So that possibly could have had an impact on oil and gas, which we already seen it before it happened. Just playing charts, we seen a bounce off of the 112. And I told you guys over the weekend, if it starts to hold above this 116 levels, then it can start building towards 121. So we just see that, even if we stay true to the chart, sometimes news comes delayed, or honestly, retail gets the news later after it already happens majority of the times. But once the news comes out, whether it's something that's tech influenced or oil and gas influenced, it just benefits to help the price action make a bigger move to the upside. And who knows what happens? We could see another leg up tomorrow, but if we don't, this would be one consolidated area here. And I should have made this square a little bit. Yeah. So you want to start here and follow while here and play the ranges within that. And then if it happens to fall, you have your box here. You'll have the bounce there, and then you have another little micro bounce here. But for the most part, you see where your consolidated areas, top and bottom, will be at, and you'll play your support there and there for the upside back up until it gets back up here. You'll watch for this to be a rejected area, and you'll play push back to the downside down to your bottom box. Your bottom box is always going to be support until it's breached. And once it's breached, then you'll look for the rejection back inside the breached area, back to the downside to find your most historical levels of support and resistance on the 5-minute chart. So this is how you break trading down before you add all the extra indicators, before you look at all the fancy data or whatnot. Like, just learning as a beginner trader, this always works to learn simple technical analysis, no RSI, no EMAs, just watching price action. And then you have to have some support and resistance trend lines somewhere in there just to give you an idea of where to go. But even if I was to take this off the actual lines, I could still use the boxes, the consolidated areas, to allow me to be able to dictate or read the price action and see which direction do I expect a continuation. So this is all I got for you tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and upload this, and in the morning, if you're on after hours, if you're part of my Patreon, if you're in the Discord, look out for the pre-market analysis. I always give you a blueprint before the bell opens to be able to follow, just so you can kind of have an idea on which direction to play with. Now, I can't always be 100% accurate, but most of the time you're gonna find a ticker in there to where it's gonna abide by what the market has set up, and it'll be an opportunity for you to make some good money. So you can find me on Patreon. That's how you get to my Discord. You can find me on After Hours. It's a trading community app. It's continuously growing. And YouTube. You can comment on YouTube if you want me to look at a ticker. Next time I make a video or not, I'll be able to take that and break it down for you and post it. And yeah, man. So this is what we do. And I hope you guys are being able to get some lessons out of the message. But I'm gonna wrap this up for night. It's been a long day. I'll catch you guys in the morning, and we'll get straight to the money. Peace.